you again for being here, everyone. If you don't know, we're doing this Tableau optimization webinar series. This is part two. Part one was specifically to wireframes, and it's presented to you by Data Meaning. To start the agenda, like I said, thank you for being here today. We're going to go through some introductions. We're going to talk to you about what are templates so important, what are templates effective, some best practices, how to get started. And Michael is going to take you through a really cool demo and talk to you about accelerators. He's going to demo specifically how you can make, these templates to show up on your Tableau when somebody opens Tableau. I think that will be amazing. Don't miss that. Many people don't know that you can actually customize that first page when you open Tableau. And we're going to take you a little bit more about some other resources that are available, upcoming webinars. And if you have any questions, let us know. You can put your questions here in the chat at any time. We have some individuals there looking at the chat. So for sure, please put your questions. More than happy to answer any questions. If you don't know anything about Data Meaning, we'd love to start here. We're a boutique intelligence BI consultant, end-to-end BI solutions. We may have many offerings related to BI, from education, business intelligence, data management. And here are some of the software partners. So if you have any questions, if you have any need or any help with any of these partners like Tableau, Alteryx, Cloudera, Matillion, Informatica, and Microsoft Azure, let us know. We're here to help you. We were super happy that this year we were, last year actually, and the year prior, we were the Tableau Alteryx Partner of the Year. So for the Americas, number one, and we're super happy about that. Very proud that we accomplished that. So if you have any questions about, like I said, Alteryx, we have plenty of people that are Alteryx experts and Snowflake. Just let us know. So today we have Michael Perlo, is the principal architect, Tableau ambassador, and myself, Yamil Medina. More than happy to be here. Also Tableau ambassador and principal consultant at Data Meaning. We do a lot of work related to Tableau. We're working with Tableau for more than 10 years, and more than happy to help you out with Tableau. Please follow us on LinkedIn, and any questions, let us know. Just want to talk to you about templates. So why are templates so important? Think about this. Templates are just that layout. I was trying to think about how can I make a statement about templates. How can we put a summary about why templates are so important? What are templates? So they are they're predefined dashboards, right? They contain your company standards. They contain blank spaces where your users can then input that visualization. There's that specific maybe KPI, but at the end of the day, they have that company standard, and they use visualization best practices. That's what they're so effective, right? Because that layout was put together by somebody that probably understands or is looking for best practices. It will provide that standardization for your company. It will make it easier to understand, and then that will allow your users to go faster, right? That's why they're so effective, because now you can have that template. You don't have to think about, hey, what is the latest logo? Let me look for somebody to give me the latest logo of my company. Or should I use this font? What should I use? They're just right there, and you just start creating those visualizations. And all you have to do is just find that space and say, okay, I like this layout. Okay, or this is the layout maybe that my company wants me to use. And let me just fill in those blank spaces. And the other thing is that they also help you with those specific requirements. There's always requirements. Now the template have most of these requirements in, and it's going to make your life easier. They're easy to adopt to. When you have templates, people love to use templates. They are easy to adopt. We have found with many of our customers, when we create some templates for them or they have templates, it's just easier. The adoption for that BI tool that you have like Tableau will be higher, easy to understand. There is endless formats and formatting in Tableau, and we all know that. So by having these templates, it just makes your life easier. You don't have to think about all these million different ways that you can make Tableau look and feel. It just makes it so much easier. And we also found that it's really cool to have templates because it creates that unified look across, the departments. About maybe some people are using Tableau online, Tableau desktop, mobile devices. So it's just making it so much easier to use templates, and that's what they're so effective. And another thing that I wanted to point out, if you want to learn more, you can go through YouTube's channel, youtube.com data meaning. We have over 100 videos already there, 100% free. And all of these videos are related to Tableau, Alteryx, Snowflakes, and so on. So you can find almost videos for anything that you can imagine there. And they're all there, 100% free. Please don't hesitate to go there. And if you were looking for the specific, let us know. Probably we have it there, or we can create it. So where to get started? I wanted to use this quote from Peter Docker. It says, efficiency, which is doing things right, is irrelevant until you work on the right things. So you have to work on the right things, right? You need to start on the right path. I mean, you have to like define your standard. You have to work with your teams and say, okay, what is the standards? What is that the company or company standards? Work with your, maybe your marketing or your different departments to make sure that you are using, maybe it's with legal department, because there are communications when you're creating a report or a dashboard that you maybe send to a client or somebody outside of your company or inside the company, right? So what are those things? What are those specific standards? Then you need to know that. You need to figure out the standards. What is the color? What is the latest logo? What should I use in regards to those standards? So define the standard and share with your team. And then one of the things that are super effective is a style guide. You have to create a guide that shows everyone, like, hey, this is a minimum level. The document needs to be this way. These are the different charts that I should use. So try to create that a specific design guide or style guide, because that will help you with defining the best charts that can be used for a specific use case. Maybe you're in the marketing department, you're dealing with, let's say, online or e-commerce data. Hey, you can provide a style guide that helps that to what charts are the best to use. Maybe you want to use some funnel charts, something specific for CRM. So try to create that style guide. We create style guides for many of our customers. We can always help you with that. But create a style guide. Using templates could also help you with as a teaching tool with others for QA, for data visualization best practices, right? You will learn about wireframe, and also it eliminates when you have like a blank canvas and you're starting creating a dashboard. So for some people that are starting out with Tableau, it's tough. But if you have templates, hey, that helps you out too. You cross that barrier and you go and start creating. And for best practices, we wanted to always talk about this. It's very important that that dashboard quality, does it communicates effectively? Does it use are you making sure that workbook that you're creating is performance efficient? So for example, when you do those calculated fields, are you using the best way to write those calculated fields? And like, how can you make sure that your dashboard is not super slow? So that's what you can start, right? I mean, creating those things to share with others. And of course, know your audience. And the final thing that I'm going to move with Michael is that, and he's going to show you all this about how can you create different, galleries, how can you share, how can you create different things to make your life easier in regards to different Tableau dashboards or templates that are already built or you can build. The Biz Gallery, this is super useful and super important. You probably heard about Tableau Biz Gallery. So these are templates very specific to a use case. You can share those very specific to a use case, share across your company, make better insights, but also make sure that others share with you what are they using. You can maybe create a user group in your company or center of excellence, and everybody can, share on that Biz Gallery, and everybody can reuse those dashboards. So I'm going to move it to Michael. You want to take it now? Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me get this going.
Thank you.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about your options. So we've talked about templates. Templates are a great way for you to kind of customize and design standards. It doesn't necessarily prevent you from being creative or innovative. What we're trying to reduce is, or at least keep, is consistency, and consistency in the way things maybe look, feel, and allow you to focus on really the important stuff, is choosing the right charts and analytics and plugging those into play here. Templates are pretty simple to create. I provided a link into the chat. Go out to Tableau Public, search up Tableau dashboard templates. You're going to get a list of those. The Tableau Viz Gallery, anything that provides you maybe some inspiration on ways for you to construct, design good templates. And Emil went through all the reasons why templates are a great idea. Again, it is not there to restrict you from being creative, innovative, and telling a great data story. The other thing that Tableau's kind of provide is these things called accelerators. So if you, hopefully most of you attended the Tableau virtual conference this past year, you heard about this new concept called the Tableau economy. In the Tableau economy, you have things like the Tableau Exchange. The Tableau Exchange contains things called accelerators, extensions, connectors. So this used to actually be the extension gallery. And now it's really involved or revolved around more of a marketplace, if you will. And this is the very early stages of what this economy will look like. Now, accelerators today are really these, what we've seen before as dashboard starters, and we'll kind of see and look and try to understand what those are. But if you're an organization, maybe a consultancy like Data Meaning, where you want to provide out of the box, ready to go dashboards, starters, if you will, templates, this is a great way for you to kind of push your content out there. And us as consumers, we can go and download these. We've got maybe 80% of everything that we need. Maybe we just need to tweak a little bit of the rest, maybe modify the data to make it our own. And that's really where these accelerators are helping people out. If you want to go check this out, you can go to exchange.tableau.com. We'll put that link into the chat. A lot of these right now are free for you to use. So if you're using any kind of platform like ServiceNow, LinkedIn, Salesforce, Eloqua, and so many more, you don't have to start from scratch. And again, this was kind of the idea around templates. Download them, get what you can out of them, and then extend the capabilities. So let's take a look. There's a couple different ways that we can kind of approach this, and I'll see if I can maybe flip over to the web. If you see my screen okay, I'm actually at the Tableau Exchange right now, exchange.tableau.com. We can see again, we've got our dashboard extensions, connectors. We're not necessarily concerned with those. The accelerators, again, this is a rebrand of what the dashboard starters used to look like. This will evolve over time to allow more of the partners to publish their content, maybe as a marketplace for paid or free services. And in your organizations, hopefully you can be able to develop content, much like templates that start from scratch. So if you're using any products like a Jira or Slack or some other platforms that you want to do dashboard analysis from, you can start that up. And again, people can kind of pick up at a starting point and extend the capabilities. This is great because you can come in here, and if I wanted to do maybe the opportunity tracking with Salesforce, I can click on that in my accelerators. I understand exactly what this is. It gives me a description. It tells me that the supported layouts within this accelerator template, I've got both a desktop and a mobile device type, which is great. The available languages, locale, are also included. Now I've got this already kind of teed up over here. So I've already downloaded this. I've brought this up. This is, for all intents and purposes, a packaged workbook that's predefined. This is not my data. Now, just like any other template, if I want to make this my own, there's a few things that I can do. I can come into this data. I can edit the data source. So rather than this kind of being Tableau's, out of the box information, I can come in, sign in with my Salesforce account. That's going to ask me, are you sure you want to do this? Sure do. I want my data to come in and be represented. So now I'm going to go back. Tableau is going to go through the motions, pull in the data. It's going to then replace that initial package workbook data with my own. So it's extracting data at this point. So let's give it a moment. Now, since this is my own Salesforce org, I'm going to come in with some fresh data. So I'm going to pull this up to, let's say, the 1st of February. I'm going to make sure that I've got all selectors so you can see that we are now looking at really this sample data of data meaning kind of coming through. So instead of the generic stuff, we can see now the salesperson is data meanings. And this is the intent of accelerators or templates. I didn't have to create this. I just made this our own with our own data. Now, if I want to go and extend the capabilities or modify or tweak these, I can certainly do that. Now, we know in this dashboard itself, there was both the desktop layout and a mobile layout. So when we're talking about templates, these are things that you can predefine to kind of give it an overall structure, architecture of best practice. That doesn't mean, again, that you can't come in and tweak this after the fact. I can certainly do that. If I don't want any of these filters to show, I can come in and remove that from my mobile dashboard. It's not going to affect my desktop design whatsoever. So again, you're not losing any creative function in here. It's just giving you a way to be more efficient, as Emil kind of pointed out earlier. If you're a Tableau online customer, you can still leverage Tableau accelerators. So we're going to go through, let me see if I can move this. I'm going to go into our Tableau online demo site. And if you notice, when I click on my home tab, at the very bottom, depending on your version, you may already have the rebranding of accelerators, but in most cases, these are, again, the dashboard starters. Dashboard starters is accelerators. So I want to see everything. I'm going to click on that see all, and I can see that we've got things for LinkedIn, for Salesforce, Marketo, and many, many more. And if I want to go ahead and take something, again, let's say I want to do something with Salesforce with my marketing leads, I can come in and sign in directly to Salesforce. And again, I'm going to allow this functionality. And this is go ahead and spin up a new visualization directly in Tableau Online with my data. If I didn't have an account and I just wanted to see kind of what this looked like and felt like, I could have used that sample data as well. And I can come in here, and if I want, I can publish this out to a folder that I have direct access to. So accelerators are a great way, again, right now for Tableau partners. This is really going to be geared towards them, kind of this first phase, but hopefully over time in your enterprise organizations, you'll be able to leverage either a public or private, basically like a gallery exchange for you to use. All right, let's shift back over to the slide deck, kind of see what else we got. So templates are great, accelerators are great. How do you encourage people to leverage these? If you've got in your organization something like a center of excellence, center of enablement, a user group community, Maybe when you're first being onboarded into Tableau, you get this welcome email from your IT department or Tableau team. Here's a list of resources where to go. If you do have templates, maybe those are stored out on a wiki, on SharePoint, or some other web internet portal. But there's a lot of information that you have to either bookmark or maintain. And remember, hey, am I using the latest version? These things happen. And it's not to say that they're not important, because we encourage and promote the use of all of this stuff. We want you to have these COEs or use groups or collaboration tools inside. But we also want to make it super easy for you to make sure that you're using things at your fingertips. So what we'll go ahead and kind of cover is a couple ways for you to customize your Tableau desktop experience to make sure that you can communicate with your users effectively. So as I mentioned before, you've got the options like your intranet, your wikis, collaboration tools like a Yammer, Slack, Microsoft Teams, where maybe you pin or promote, hey, if you need resources or templates or whatever else, go ahead and here. Maybe you have a network drive, a shared drive in your organization where everybody posts everything. And that's all great. But what we're going to show you is a couple of features that Tableau's introduced, one of those being the customizable Discover pane. Now, everybody's hopefully familiar with that Discover pane. If we go to Tableau Desktop, the Discover pane is over on the right-hand side. And this is pretty much the same for everyone. You're going to get your information about training, resources, and whatever else dynamic might come up. If you're running a version of Tableau, maybe they'll provide some updates. Hey, you're not running the latest during around conference time. Maybe they'll throw an advertisement out, sign up for a TC22, whatever that might be. This is fully customizable today. And we're going to show you a couple ways to do that. The other thing we'll flip back over that's now customizable as of 21.3 is your sample workbooks. So let's flip back over to Tableau. The sample workbooks are going to be showing right down here. And if you've used them, great. I've used these quite a bit. You pull them up, you do a demo and training, maybe some things like that. But that's about it. The rest of the time, it really just takes up space. So what we're going to see is how can we leverage, maybe the templates, the resources. Emil talked about, having like a style guide, maybe industry-specific dashboards, some things like that. And we can plug them directly into this. So when you launch Tableau for the first time, you get to see all that information. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we can actually do that. If you've got Tableau deployed already today, the easiest way to do that, and I don't want to say it's easy, the only way to really do that is to, if you're running Windows, to update your registry. Now you can do that manually, but we understand that in most cases, if you're an enterprise organization, you're pretty locked down. You're not going to necessarily have this capability. So this is something your IT department may need to do, either a mass automation push or something. We'll look at option 2 is during the rollout of a Tableau deployment, how can we customize? I have access to actually change my registry and some information, so we're going to actually show you how that could work. If you're using a Mac, this is also doable through the application preference file. Everything's going to be outlined in the help documentation, which is going to be baked into this slide deck. So don't worry about how do I do this. It's actually pretty simple. It takes you through step by step. And again, if this is not something you have access to and you need IT to kind of intervene or automate this process, definitely doable. All right, so
I think Michael, I wanted to say real quick, we wanted to show you this anyway, because, even if you don't have access, I mean, it may be that whoever is dealing with your server or the IT doesn't even know that you can do this, right? Doesn't even know that they're able to do this type of things. So we want you to know so you can talk to them and help them out. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's go to the previous slide real quick and notice the screenshot. So this is the default kind of look and feel. What we're attempting to do now through the modification, you saw that we can change the Discover pane. We can also change, again, the sample workbooks. So let's flip back over to Tableau. Again, everything is default. All right, so we are actually going to go through and update in the registry for the sample workbooks. So the sample workbooks, let me just flip back over to the deck just so everyone's kind of aware. There's going to be, depending on your Tableau version, this is going to be all documented. We need to create a couple of folders, some keys. Again, your IT department can help out if none of these exist or you don't have access to that. But in a nutshell, what we're trying to do is in your Discover pane, we need to put a URL of a website. And this could be a static website, could be dynamic, however you need to do it. But it does need to be on a web server. So running IIS, Apache, Tomcat, any number of things. Your samples folder is going to store your workbooks. So 5 at the most is what can actually show. Now this does have to be a drive letter. In the documentation that we'll provide, it will state that it has to be a local drive. I think what Tableau's emphasizing is that it cannot be a mapped network drive. So if, for those of you that are familiar, usually a mapped network drive consists of 2 forward slashes like that UNC path. We need something mapped. So a drive letter, DEF, whatever it might be, but that could be a network share. And that's what we're using today, is to show you and illustrate that it can be done. So this is what we're doing. We're going to put in a web site for our samples. We're going to put for the Discover pane, and for our samples, we're going to put in that drive letter. So let's go flip over to the registry, the samples directory. I'm going to plug that in. And I'm going to go back to my cheat sheet and get that web URL where my website is stored. I'm going to go to that Discover pane, open up the value, and paste that directly in. So that's done. So if we go back, again, take a note, we've got the 3 default workbooks coming in. This is the default Discover pane. I'm going to close out of Tableau Desktop, and I'm going to reopen the instance again. And if all works out, this next launch should have 5 new dashboards showing in our sample, as well as a new, fresh Discover pane. And there we go. So what we've done is we've got our resources. So this could be something maybe you bring up, maybe your resource workbook has calculations, how do I do, year-over-year analysis, things that you can copy from one dashboard and plug it into your template. And what we kind of learned now, through the newer versions of Tableau, you can copy and paste a lot of stuff over from workbook to workbook. So it is highly recommended that you have at least 1 or 2 resource workbooks that contain most commonly used calculations, table calcs, LODs, things where you have different scenarios that just come up all the time. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's kind of baked in already. Now I've got 4 other workbooks that I can use from, and maybe these have different templates. What would normally show up here is the thumbnail of that first initial dashboard page, but you can customize everything here. What we notice too on now the Discover pane is that while it looks somewhat similar, it is different. Now, since this is a website, you can make this look and feel however you want. There is no structure that it has to have this type of formatting. Tableau, is going to be at the title. If you want, animated cats running around the Discover pane and, links to your intranet, maybe a embedded video, you can do all that. This is highly customizable. But all I did was kind of use just a generic template. This actually exists out on Tableau's GitHub page. So if you just want something to start with as a starting point and customize it to make it your own, this is all kind of baked into the slide deck. So if you're wondering, I don't know how to code or, write HTML or JavaScript or CSS, no worries. You don't have to. It's already kind of there for you. You just need to modify the file, maybe put your own links in, and then upload it again to a web server. So I've added in a couple links here for templates, branding. Again, you could add some messages, animated, GIFs, or other pictures, videos, things like that. I've got a call out, see you at TC22, which by the way is coming up in about 83 days or so. So if you weren't aware, Tableau is going to be doing a hybrid conference this year, in person and virtual. Do go out to the Tableau events page, click on the conference for more information. Registration will be coming probably sometime in March, so take a look at that. But this is a fantastic way to make sure that your users are actively seeing these resources. Again, the wikis, the collaboration tools, all of that's great. But if they're not visiting that stuff every day, or it's out of sight, out of mind, maybe in an email buried somewhere, they may be reinventing the wheel over and over again. Customizing the Discover pane, you can't miss it. You just opened up Tableau. It's right there. If you want them to see custom workbooks, there you go. I can start fresh. I can click on my template. I can open it up and start working. So this is fantastic. Now, one of the things I will go back and just make some recommendations. We talked about, okay, once I have a template in place, what else should I be kind of baking in? I would bake into your template kind of like a checklist. Expand this however you want, but making sure that users understand, hey, use only the amount of data to answer questions to inform. Don't overload dashboards. Don't, have 500 worksheets baked into a dashboard. That type of stuff. Making sure you choose the right chart types and you have a good story to tell, and the flow is great. Now, at the end of this, you may want to say, hey, when you're all said and done, delete this dashboard, before publishing. And that's great. So once I'm done, maybe I go through and I look at my style guide, make sure that, again, all my fonts and styles are there. For those of you who might be brand new, you know that you could come in here and you can copy the formatting. So the titles, the colors, the font styles. If you, for whatever reason, just didn't start from scratch and you've got a dashboard that you already maybe started with, you could bring up that template. And if you've got the style guide baked in where you have sample titles, subtitles, annotation, tooltips, things like that, where it's heavily formatted to make sure that you're communicating effectively, you can always come in here, copy the formatting, take it to your other dashboard and paste that formatting. And now you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to start from scratch again. So make sure you include your style guide. Make sure you have some sort of a checklist within your templates. Once they're done, you can knock those out. Just delete them. And now you're left with your dashboard that you can publish Tableau Server or Tableau Online. All right, let's flip over and see if we've got any other things that we want to share. So Emil, I think, I highlighted most of what I wanted there. Let me just make sure we took everything. For the help files, for those of you that might be interested in understanding, well, how do I do the Discover pane? How do I change the sample workbooks? These links are all included in the deck. We'll go ahead and post it also into the chat if you want them now, but everything's right there. The second way which I'm going to go back to, actually, now that I recall, we did the first option. We changed the registry. Now, if you're an enterprise organization with dozens, hundreds, maybe thousands of Tableau creators, that is not something you necessarily want to do. You don't want users individually changing things. You can package the software. And by you, I mean your IT department or whoever manages software at your organization. And this is something that we recommend because one, there's a lot of things in Tableau that maybe we want to enable or disable, especially if we want to control things. If you've got Tableau and, you know, as an admin, I want to make sure that you're not updating it on your own. I may want to disable the ability for you to do updates or things like that. Now, when I package the software, I can actually go through and highly customize the way that Tableau behaves. And there's a bunch of different configurations that I can go through and set those. If I want to make sure that my software is activated, you know, before or after I deploy, and I don't need to necessarily give my users a product key, or I don't have to worry about them using the login-based license management, you know, to activate. I can do all that from a deployment standpoint. I can use we saw the Discover Pane URL. I can bake that directly into the configuration so that that highly customized Discover Pane will be updated for every single user. If I want to do my sample workbooks, I can do the same thing. I can make sure that when I deploy the package, the moment that they open it up, your users, everyone's going to see those, you know, 1 to 5 workbooks that I want to see. And because this is highly customizable, it can be dynamic too. So if workbooks change or content needs to change, this is something that your COE or Tableau server team or IT department, they can change on the fly. The next time that you open up Tableau, you're going to have the latest and greatest templates or workbooks or resources, whatever that might be. That Discover Pane is going to have up-to-date information. So again, fantastic way to tie in all the templates and everything that we've talked about, the resources, right directly into the Tableau desktop tool. All right, Emil, did you want to go through and pick up the next slide, or if there's any questions, we can cover those?
Does anybody have any questions? Put it in the Q&A. We can answer any of your questions right now. Just let us know. I mean, please, any questions that we can answer right now about how you can deploy templates in an easier way or better, or like how can you update that customized first page from Tableau? If anybody have any questions, let me see. I'm trying to see if I'm looking here. If anybody have any specific questions that we have not answered, please let us know right now immediately, and we will more than happy to do that. Not sure if yeah. Does anybody have any specific questions? Let's see. Let's see. You're not seeing my screen, right? Or you are not sure? Yeah. No.
Not yet.
No. Okay. Trying to see what I'm trying to. Okay, got it. Before we end, I wanted to show something to everyone. You can see this dashboard, right, Andrew, Aaron, or Michael? Okay.
Yep.
One of the things that you can also do, I wanted to give you this too, is you can see that I have this dashboard. It's a dashboard related to email performance by campaign. So this is a dashboard I created here at Data Meeting, and this is all, please, so you know, it's a dummy data. But how did I create this dashboard? So there's another way that you can, and this is a kind of as a template. So some of those templates provided by Tableau, okay, they are from Salesforce. In this case, What I did was reverse engineer. So I couldn't, in this case, the data that I had for these campaigns were not in Salesforce. But I found this accelerator, like dashboard starters, let's say, and I liked how it looked, and I wanted to use it. So what I did was I did it the other way. I said, how can I make the data that I have from my other tool, because it was not Salesforce, to be compatible with this template? So I took the data, I think it was in Excel, and I only took the data, make it look almost the same thing as it was in Salesforce. I just opened this dashboard, and boom, here it is. And I only changed, the header and footer, and I already have my dashboard. So this is another way that you can utilize templates in some way, that you, maybe there's something out there that you like, and then you only need to tweak your data a little bit, and then you already have a dashboard. So just wanted to show you that is another alternative. And I can put this dashboard also on my library. Some other people can reuse it. So you see, there's other options that why these templates are so efficient. I just wanted to leave you with that for you. Anything you want to say, Michael, about that, or just like that one of those ideas of how you can utilize this too? Yeah.
I think this you covered a lot of this. One of the things I think we want to emphasize too when you're developing out your template, again, make sure you think about this. Dashboards are there to inform and communicate effectively. They're not, a brochure or a website. And while, I've seen organizations, well, here's our colors and our style guide, that may not necessarily fit with the data story communication, your colors and your fonts and things like that. This is a little different. So just make sure you kind of keep that in mind, and just don't, well, this is how we do things over on the marketing side of things and how they brand. Just make sure it aligns appropriately.
Yeah. So we wanted to let you know too, we here at Data Meaning, we provide a lot of different offerings related to Tableau and Alteryx training. As you can see, you can talk to us about specific electives for your team, very specific to your use cases, anything that you're looking at related to Tableau and Alteryx, we can help you for sure with that. Here's some of the offerings that we have from Python in Alteryx through Tableau. You're starting out with Tableau. We can definitely customize some of these offerings. Just let us know. I just want to give you a pic of what is that. Some announcements. Next, on March 29, we're going to go to the third part of this webinar series of Tableau optimization webinar series. This is for dashboarding. Same time, 12 p.m. Eastern, and you will learn about best practices, how you standardize those dashboards. How can you create better titles to increase your adoption? What are call out numbers, and specifically KPI? How do you select the best specific graph or visualization for your use case? And on April 26th, last part of this webinar series related to end user distribution. So we're going to teach you and tell you about how you can distribute those nice visualizations to your teams effectively. And finally, just wanted to let you know that thank you for attending. Here is our information. If you need anything from us, please contact us at info@datameaning.com. Here's some of our emails. And please don't forget March 29 at 12 p.m. Eastern. Again, dashboarding. We can send you the link to register. If everybody have any questions at all, I'm not sure if you have any questions, let us know.